down in the tackle shop. Next video is going to be about our rod and reel setups for bait casting equipment. Check the next upload here, 2 minutes to success. Here we go.
Alright, first setup I'm going to talk about is the Tommy Biffle Tour Edition rod made by Quantum. Heavy action, 7'6". Got the rod sleeve on it. We love the rod sleeves when we load up our rod lockers. Put as many rods you want on there, they don't get tangled up. Easy removal. And nice to use when it comes time to get fishing. This rod is about as stiff as they get when it comes to flipping heavy cover and getting fish out of the thick stuff. As you can see here when I hit it on the ground, not much give. Pretty much all backbone in this rod. You want a rod like this when you're fishing close, flipping and pitching. You got the heavy cover where the bass are. You need a long rod, 7'6", so you can pick up a lot of line on that hook set, and it just helps rip them out of there and get them to the boat. And then another key is the reel that's on here. This right here is a 7-to-1 burner Tour Edition PT. You want a reel like this that picks up a lot of line, because like I said, when you set that hook and you start pulling that fish, you want to be able to pick up as much line as possible to get them out of that cover and away from the cover. A rod like this is a must-have when fishing heavy cover. Check out these other rods.
Jimmy down here in the tackle shop. I'm going to talk about my Topwater setup. Okay, first main difference between what Jason just talked about is on this one, you got to have mono. Don't want fluorocarbon, that sinks, that'll change the action of your Topwater plug. Okay, my rod here is a 6'6" Quantum Tour Swindle. I like a shorter rod because I'm shorter, so I need a shorter rod for when I'm walking as our spook, or if I'm popping a pop-ar. Okay, I don't want a long rod and be hitting the surface of the water with it all the time, so I go a little shorter than a lot of guys. So this is again a 6'6" one. My reel is a 7.0 Quantum Tour PT. Okay, and again, I like a fast reel for this because when that fish strikes, I want to pick up line and get that thing to the boat as quick as I can. The taper on this is pretty soft on the tip. Right, when you're playing a fish at the side of the boat with treble hooks in its mouth, you want to have a lot of tip there to kind of, play that fish properly so those hooks don't rip out. If you're too stiff with treble hooks, you're going to tear those hooks right out of the fish's mouth. So again, I got a 7.0 bait caster and I got a 6'6" medium rod for my Topwater setup. Alright, the next setup here is for shallow running crankbaits, maybe spinner baits around tight cover. Okay, this is a Quantum Tour KVD. It's a 6'8". It's medium action. Again, a shorter rod. I like shorter rods because I'm a shorter guy. But also, when I'm pitching a square bill around tight cover or a spinner bait, my shorter rod gives me a lot more accuracy than a longer rod would. Again, the tip is pretty soft, as you can see there. Anytime I'm fishing treble hooks, I want to have a soft tip so I can use that to play the fish at the side of the boat. My reel on this one is a Quantum Tour KVD. This one's a little slower. It's a 6'6" one for my shallow running crankbaits and spinner baits. Some guys go a little less than that. I like a 6'6" yet. So that's my setup for shallow running crankbaits and spinner baits. Alright, that was the square bill shallow running crankbait one. This is my deep diver medium running crankbait one. This happens to be a 7.4 Tour KVD. He does have a 7.10 launcher that I'm planning on actually getting for those deep diving plugs, 10 to 12, even deeper than that. You like a longer rod for those deep diving crankbaits because you want to cast it out there in that extra distance, or that extra length gives you a little extra distance on the cast. Keep those baits in the optimal strike zone as you're cranking them down there. The other thing, when you go to the reel on this one, I don't have one on this particular rod at the moment, you want to go with a slower gear ratioed rod, or reel, like a 5 to 3 to 1 or something along that line. A lot of companies make one just for deep cranking. Quantum does, all those other companies do as well. So again, longer rod. I'm going to go fluorocarbon line on this setup, probably usually 12-pound test. If I got to get down a little deeper, maybe a little lighter or heavier if I want to get the bait up a little bit. But that's what I'm looking at for my deep diving setup. Keep ripping.
Alrighty, that was your 2 minutes to success when it comes to rods and reels. Let us know what you want to hear about and we'll get it uploaded.